guys, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some items that I am decluttering from my makeup collection. Now, I know a lot of you guys enjoy seeing like aerial views where you kind of just pick through your collection and choose items to declutter, but that just doesn't work for me and my personal collection. I have really, over the last few weeks, been pulling items from my collection, seeing if I can make them work, seeing if they're things that still suit my needs and my personal style, and if they're items that are expiring, all that kind of stuff. So I was purging through my older items and really testing them and seeing if there was something I wanted to hold on to. So that's why I have a pretty significant selection of items here to share with you guys, but I really just can't do like on the spot declutters. That just doesn't work for me and my personal collection. It doesn't work for how I like to declutter items. So I do have some things to share with you. Let's just hop right on into it. The first item I have here, some of you guys are going to be very happy I'm decluttering this because I have not been very happy to be using this. This is the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette. This is the original Comfort Zone, and I've said in my Mission 100% Cruelty Free videos that I'm not enjoying this. This is not something I really want to reach for. And I decided, you know what, now it's time to just purge it, declutter it, and say goodbye. This is just not working for me because it's so old, and I do have, you know, not the best feelings towards the brand anymore. I am still working on all of the items that are part of that project pan, but I wanted to just purge this now and just like kind of get it out of my brain space and just say goodbye to it. So this bad boy is going in the trash, which kind of sucks that I never got to it sooner, but at the same time, it's so old now, I can't pass this off to anyone, so it's going in the garbage. I've got two other eyeshadows that I will be decluttering. Both are from Colourpop, and they are Super Shock shadows. This first one is called Mittens, and this is a matte shade. It's completely dried up, and I cannot seem to revive it. I have actually repressed it in the past, but it's cracking yet again, so it's time to say goodbye. I have had this for quite some time. It's a beautiful shade, and I really did love it when I first got it. I wish I had given it a little bit more attention, but it just ended up no longer being like an everyday kind of staple for me, and I just kind of got distracted by other eyeshadows that I added to my collection, to be honest. And same goes for this one. This is a pressed pigment. This is in the shade Leopard. Beautiful purple shade. And as you can see, I have repressed it before, but because it is a matte pressed pigment, it is just completely dried up. It's not functioning the same. I can't even really swatch this. It's so dry and doesn't have a lot of pigment to it anymore. So it's time to say goodbye to this one as well. I'm going to be getting rid of this Essence All I Need Concealer palette. This is probably about 3 years old at this point, and I do have pan in 2 of the shades. I did reach for this quite a lot when I had a lot of cystic acne on my face. These are like cake concealers, are really good at covering up those inflamed, really red acne spots. But I have not really reached for this as of late. At least for a year I haven't reached for this. So I tried to put it to the test, but it's just far too dry to use on my face and my under eyes now that my skin is more normal to dry, and I don't have a lot of spots to conceal, nor do I honestly have the desire. When I do get a spot, I literally don't care. Like, if it shows through my foundation, it shows through. I'm not going to be sitting there trying to spot conceal. I just can't be bothered. I've got 3 liquid liners. These are all from NYX. The first one is the white liquid liner, and this one, honestly, I've had it in my collection for like a year and a half, and I never liked it from the very start. It was very dry, very flaky. I could not build up opacity with this. In fact, it would just kind of flake more. It was just never a good situation. And yet for some reason, I put it back into my collection and let it sit there and never touched it after using it like 2 times. So that is just a lesson learned for sure. The next one I have here is the NYX Vivid Brights. This is in the shade Vivid Halo. Honestly, I decluttered all of my Vivid Brights back at the beginning of this year, and I think I just overlooked this one. And yeah, same sort of thing. It's very dry, very crusty and flaky. Initially, this was very nice, and I did get a lot of pigmentation from it, but after a few uses, it really did get quite dry, and it just wasn't really something I desired to work with, and I just didn't. It's just sat in my collection for so long. And then this one, this is the only one that really actually impressed me. This was the Glam Liner Aqua Luxe. This is in the shade Glam 24 Karat. This is actually a really beautiful gold liquid liner, but it's completely dried up at this point, which makes sense because I think I've had it again for about 3 years, so shouldn't be holding onto a liquid liner for that long, but it was absolutely beautiful. I used to really love using this in combination with like a black or a brown liquid liner just as an accent line up above, or just to use as like a little accent just on the inner portion of the lid here or under my brows. Like I played with this quite a lot. It was quite a fun eyeliner to have in my collection, but I honestly had kind of just forgotten about it over the last little while, and then when I went to test it out, see if it was something I wanted to hold on to, it's completely dried up. I'm gonna be saying goodbye to my Anastasia contour kit. This is in the light to medium shade range, and there's actually only 3 pans remaining in here. I finished off these 2 highlighter shades last year and this year, and then I actually pulled out the contour shade. This is the shade Fawn, and I have that in a magnetic palette now because it's the only contour color that I have in my whole collection, so I wanted to hold on to that. But otherwise, nothing about this palette really intrigues me. You can see mine is so old, so used. It is, it's definitely seen better days, so I just decided I have no need for these bronzers. I don't reach for these ever, and honestly, this one is just far too deep for me. I just have no need. The highlighter is just something that's just like, nah, subpar. I have other things that I prefer far more than this one, so it's time to say goodbye. This is so probably well past its expiry, and yeah. I am kind of upset that I didn't really like work on using this more, especially when I had a smaller makeup collection, but lesson learned, I don't need a contour kit like this at all in my life. I'm going to be letting go of 4 of my NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams. 2 are a little bit newer, but they're actually still probably about like 2.5, 3 years old. There's the shade Transylvania and the shade Moscow. Transylvania is like a deep wine shade, and Moscow is like a deep navy. These both were really fun to play with. It was in like the height of me wanting to just play with bold lips and just do crazy makeup, really creative makeup, have a lot of fun expressing myself. But these are both quite patchy. I loved them initially just because of the type of shade that they are, but really when I try to use them now, they are very patchy. They are definitely prone to transferring as well because they aren't like a liquid lip that sets down, but I love the formula, and I do have 2 others in my collection that I'm going to hold on to, but I will be letting go of these 2 as well. One is in the shade Milan and the other one is in Ibiza. Milan was the first soft matte lip cream I ever bought. I used to love this kind of like hot pink lip as like an everyday lip. I'm not into it anymore, but this was like what sparked my desire to almost collect the soft matte lip creams. This shade is probably 5 years old now though, so that's disgusting that I've been keeping a liquid lip for that long. However, I probably haven't worn it in about 3 years, and that's because I am quite nostalgic about this formula, so that's why I didn't want to let go of it. But I just feel like I just have no desire to hold on to all of these anymore. I really want my makeup collection to be curated to things that I really want to reach for, I'm going to use. I'm not just holding on to them for the sake of holding on to them, so I'm going to be saying goodbye to all 4 of these. I'm decluttering 3 of my Colourpop Ultra Satin Lips. I love this formula, but it does not last very long, and I can tell that these have all completely changed. The first one is Marshmallow. It's this gray purple shade, and this is discontinued, so I'm super sad that I am letting this go because I adore this shade. This looks so cool. I think this is such a fun lip color, and I wish that there is more of these kinds of shades available in the market, and yeah, I just love it, but I can tell it's separating. It smells a little bit like chemical-y now, so I have to part with it, but this is such a special lipstick in my opinion, especially for the price point to play with a color like this. It's just perfect, but like I said, I have to let it go. I'm not going to be putting that on my face anymore. Same with Hutch. I love this color so much. This is such a beautiful shade. I always get compliments when I wear this, but over the last like maybe 6 months or 10 months or something, every time I've tried to reach for this and I put it on, I immediately have to take it off because it feels very dry and tight and very uncomfortable, and the Ultra Satin Lips formula is not normally like that, so I can tell that this is definitely changed. And it's really unfortunate because I love this color so much, but like I said, the Colourpop Ultra Satin Lips do tend to expire quite quickly. And then the last shade I have here is called Little Stitches. I'm not superstitious, I'm just a little stitious. I love the name. This color was always a little bit weird on me. Like, it's not a great nude. It does pull a little bit gray and not in a great way. And then it leaves this purple stain behind, like as it would like jive with my chemistry, it would become purple and stain quite a lot. So always a little bit skeptical of this shade, to be honest, but I haven't reached for it in about a year. And as soon as I opened it up, it smelled the same as both of these ones, and I knew I just had to let it go. So really unfortunate. These turn very quickly. Same do like all liquid lipsticks, in fact, but these ones go a little bit quicker than other formulas. And I have one other liquid lipstick I am going to be decluttering as well. This is the Smashbox Always On Liquid Lipstick. This is in the shade Boss. Beautiful, vibrant, true red. I love this color. I love this formula. It's so super comfortable and delicious. This is such a nice liquid lipstick formula. I've had it about 2 years now and it's just getting real crusty. Like, there's no redeeming this. It looks really dry and really bad, and I can't get a precise line, and there's just nothing great about this anymore. But initially, believe me, it was such a beautiful formula. If you want a liquid lip in a nude shade and you can actually like feasibly go through a liquid lip, this formula is absolutely beautiful. I didn't use it enough, which is really unfortunate. I actually do have 2 others of the Smashbox liquid lips, but they're both in the metallic finish, so I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to finish them up, but they're not quite as crusty and just off as this one is. So I will be holding on to those for a little bit longer, but hopefully I can get more use out of them now that I know how quickly that formula does turn. I've got one bullet lipstick as well that I will be decluttering. This is the Essence Long Lasting Lipstick in the shade 27. This is Mystic Violet. I barely use this, but I have no desire to use this at all. I just have never really craved this color or this formula. It's a little bit sheer and balmy, and with this like grape kind of color, it just didn't ever work with me. It wasn't something I was ever into, but I held on to it because I have a lipstick hoarding problem, but I'm trying to redeem myself. I'm trying to change that part of me. So I will be passing this off to somebody. If anybody wants this kind of color, somebody in my life wants this color, I will pass it off to them, and hopefully they can use it more than I ever did. And then I have one last item. This last item is the Fenty Beauty Metal Moon Kilowatt Highlighter. I don't really know why I ever bought this, to be honest. When Fenty first came out, this is what I bought because I felt like I had so many comparable shades to the other highlighters, and this one was very unique to my collection and to the collection in general. It's a white gold with like a blue kind of tinge, but it just doesn't work on me. It never really has a lot of impact. It's nothing that I've ever really been drawn to using either. So I am gonna pass this off to somebody in my life as well. I've had this for about 2 years since the brand launched. However, I do think this is still like totally fine. I just have no desire to put it on my face, so I don't need it to just be taking up space in my collection. And if somebody else could actually get some use out of it. So that's everything. I'm actually planning on doing a makeup inventory very soon, so I'm happy that I was able to go through my collection and really purge some things in anticipation of that, because I don't want to just be counting expired makeup in my inventory. So look forward to that in the next couple of weeks, and thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out with me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!